Tens of millions of Americans hoping to get their student loans canceled were handed a painful defeat on Friday as the U.S. Supreme Court ruled in another 6-3 decision to block President Joe Biden's plan to forgive $430 billion in student debt. The court's conservative majority ruled in favor of 6 conservative-leaning states that objected to Biden's plan, which was intended to benefit up to 43 million Americans, a major campaign promise made by the Democratic president. Biden called the court's decision disappointing and wrong and said he would work to find other ways to provide relief to American families. On Friday, students and advocates rallied outside the Supreme Court, demanding the president act quickly.
Fired up!
Here's Wisdom Cole from the NAACP.
To President Biden, failure is not an option, and we are going to do everything within our power to ensure that we commit to canceling student debt. You have the power to do it. You have the legal authority.
Satra Taylor from the advocacy group Young Invincibles responded to a man in the crowd yelling for her to, quote, pay your bills.
Do you know what it feels like to not know when you will have another meal? Do you know what it feels like to do not know if you will have the money to pay your rent? You do not. So don't sit here and tell us to pay your bills. I need money to pay my bills. The privilege it is for you to be here to yell at us.
Under Biden's now quashed plan, the U.S. government would have forgiven up to $10,000 in federal student debt for Americans making under $125,000 who obtained loans to pay for post-secondary education, and $20,000 for recipients of Pell Grants to students from lower-income families. Economists expect restarted payments to put a dent on consumer spending in an already slowing economy. During February arguments in the case, Biden's administration said the plan was authorized under a 2003 federal law known as the HEROES Act, which empowers the U.S. Education Secretary to waive or modify student financial aid during war or national emergencies. Conservative Chief Justice John Roberts, who wrote the ruling, derided the Biden administration's argument that the loan forgiveness program was merely a modification. The court's 3 liberals dissented, with Justice Elena Kagan arguing that the Education Secretary has broad authority to relieve a national emergency's effect on borrowers' ability to repay their student loans. The ruling came a day after the Supreme Court's 6-3 decision to toss out affirmative action policies, long used by U.S. colleges and universities to raise the number of Black, Hispanic, and other underrepresented minority students.